Architecture is a mix of art, science, math, and business. This makes it one of the most interesting courses to pursue and build a career. Welcome to College Suggest. In this video, we're looking at the top 10 institutes in India that offer a course in architecture. Click on the subscribe button and the bell icon to receive notifications on your favorite colleges, college comparisons, courses, careers, and so much more. As always, we will only consider the data submitted by the college to the NIRF for the 2020 ranking. We'll leave the links in the description below. A Bachelor of Architecture or BArch is a 5-year professional undergraduate degree. In this program, students will learn to plan, design, and construct physical structures of various kinds. There are more than 800 institutions in India that offer an architecture course. Among them, 20 institutions are listed in the NIRF table. Let's analyze the top 10. At number 10, we have Jamia, Millia, Islamia, New Delhi. JMI intakes 40 UG students and 144 PG students. The institution has a total of 460 students across all years in both UG and PG programs. From the BArch program, 92.5% of students have graduated and all the students were placed. The placed students receive a median salary package of Rs 4.8 lakhs per annum. JMI has spent more than 34 lakhs as annual capital expenditure, while over 7 crores was spent as operational expenditure. Now let's quickly look at Jamia Millia Islamia's score in different NIRF parameters. In teaching, learning and resources, the institution has scored 66.06%. In research and professional practices, the score is 0.67%. Under graduation outcomes, it has scored 87.09%. In outreach and inclusivity, it has scored 78.6%. And finally, when it comes to public perception, it has scored 44.47%. This gives us an overall score of 56.29% and the 10th rank on the NIRF table under the architecture category. When we look at JMI's rank from the previous year, we can see that it has dropped from the previous year. School of Planning and Architecture, Vijayawada. School of Planning and Architecture, Vijayawada takes the 9th place among the top 10 architectural colleges in the country. SPA Vijayawada intakes 87 UG and 46 PG students. Keeping this in mind, SPA Vijayawada has a total student strength of 399. From the UG program, 84.93% of the students graduated within the minimum stipulated time. From the graduates, all the students were placed in various companies for a median salary package of Rs 3.8 lakhs per annum. SPA Vijayawada has spent over 4 crores as its annual capital expenditure and over 13 crores was utilized as operational expenses. SPA Vijayawada has scored 74.2% in teaching, learning and resources, 5.2% in research and professional practices, 82.32% in graduation outcomes, 68.21% in outreach and inclusivity, and 56.3% in perception from the public. This gives an overall score of 59.63% and an NIRF ranking of number 9. Across the years, SPA Vijayawada has consistently maintained its rank. The next institution on the list is the National Institute of Technology, Tiruchirappalli. Last year, this institution had an approved intake of 53 UG students and 20 PG students. The institution has 254 students in its architectural program. Last year, 97.92% of the UG students graduated within the minimum stipulated time, and from these graduates, 77.57% were placed in various organizations. The placed students were offered a salary package of Rs 6 lakhs per annum. NIT Trichy has spent more than 29 lakhs as its annual capital expenditure and over 4 crores was utilized as operational expenses. The institution has scored 49.63% in teaching, learning and resources, 52.1% in research and professional practices, 83.9% in graduation outcomes, 59.37% in outreach and inclusivity, and finally 73.03% in perception from the public. Combining all of these scores, NIT Trichy gets an overall score of 60.29% and an NIRF ranking of number 8. But the institution has slightly dropped in its ranking from the previous year. School of Planning and Architecture, Bhopal takes the 7th spot. SPA Bhopal has an approved intake of 86 UG students and 60 PG students. With this, there are a total of 472 students studying across all the years. The UG program has produced 81.33% of graduates. All the students were placed, leaving a perfect placement percentage. The salary offered to the placed students was Rs 3 lakhs per annum. SPA Bhopal has spent over 2 crores as its annual capital expenditure, and over 23 crores was utilized as operational expenses. While looking at the NIRF parameters, SPA Bhopal has scored 79.91% in teaching, learning and resources, 22.57% in research and professional practices, 74.12% in graduation outcomes, 73.51% in outreach and inclusivity, and 52.25% in perception from the public. This yields an overall score of 63.87% and the 7th rank on the NIRF table. SPA Bhopal has shown a drop from the previous year. At number 6, we have the Indian Institute of Engineering, Science and Technology, Shibpur. IIEST intakes 24 UG and 16 PG students. The institution consists of 110 architecture students. In the UG program, 80% of the students graduated last year and all the students were placed. The placed students were given a salary package of Rs 3 lakhs per annum. The institution has spent more than 74 lakhs as its annual capital expenditure, and over 4 crores was utilized as operational expenses. IIEST has scored 71.68% in teaching, learning and resources, 62.31% in research and professional practices, 74.67% in graduation outcomes, 52.88% in outreach and inclusivity, and finally 37% in perception from the public. Through all of these scores, IIEST Shibpur has achieved an overall score of 65.05% and has attained the 6th rank on the NIRF table. Last year, this institution was not ranked in the NIRF. However, it has managed to find itself a spot among the top 10 institutions. At number 5, we have School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi. School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi intakes 122 UG and 38 PG students. The institution has 619 architecture students in total. From the UG program, 60.87% of the students graduated within the minimum stipulated time. Also, 100% of the students from the UG program were placed for a median salary of Rs 5.4 lakhs per annum. SPA Delhi has spent over 33 lakhs as its annual capital expenditure, and over 29 crores was utilized as the institution's operational expenses. SPA Delhi has scored 74.58% in teaching, learning and resources, 20.51% in research and professional practices, 73.47% in graduation outcomes, 70.15% in outreach and inclusivity, and finally 100% in perception from the public. With all of these scores, SPA Delhi has achieved an overall score of 65.63% and the 5th rank on the NIRF table. Considering the previous years, SPA Delhi has shown a drop on the table. Coming in at number 4, we have Center for Environmental Planning and Technology, University. CEPT intakes 80 UG and 76 PG students. The institution has 476 architecture students in total. Looking at the UG program, 71.74% of the students graduated last year. All eligible students were placed, leaving a placement percentage of 100%. The placed students were offered a median salary package of Rs 4.5 lakhs per annum. The institution has utilized more than 4 crores as its annual capital expenditure, and over 13 crores was utilized as operational expenses. CEPT has scored 70.14% in teaching, learning and resources, 43.18% in research and professional practices, 82.53% in graduation outcomes, 59.98% in outreach and inclusivity, and finally 74.72% in perception from the public. With these scores in various parameters, CEPT has achieved an overall score of 66.68% and has achieved the 4th rank on the NIRF table. Last year, CEPT was not ranked in the NIRF table, while this year it has managed to be placed on the list of top 10s. At number 3, we have the National Institute of Technology, Calicut. NIT Calicut has an approved intake of 47 UG and 13 PG seats. There are 269 architecture students in total. When we look at the UG program, 100% of the students have graduated within the minimum stipulated time. 47.62% of the UG students were placed for a median salary package of Rs 6.2 lakhs per annum. Over 5 crores was spent as annual capital expenditure, and over 27 crores was utilized as the institution's operational expenses. NIT Calicut has scored 89.7% in teaching, learning and resources, 27.93% in research and professional practices, 75.96% in graduation outcomes, 66.96% in outreach and inclusivity, and finally 58.79% in perception from the public. With these scores, NIT Calicut has achieved an overall score of 69.24% and has been ranked at number 3 on the NIRF table. NIT Calicut has consistently maintained its rank for the past 2 years. At number 2, we have the Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee. IIT Roorkee intakes 30 UG and 23 PG students. IIT Roorkee has a total of 201 architecture students across all years. Last year, 97.06% of the UG students graduated within the minimum stipulated time, and 100% of the students were placed in various companies. The placed students were offered a median salary package of Rs 8 lakhs per annum. Over 5 crores was spent as annual capital expenditure, and over 9 crores was utilized as the institution's operational expenses. IIT Roorkee has scored 81.32% in teaching, learning and resources, 85.34% in research and professional practices, 87.15% in graduation outcomes, 70.9% in outreach and inclusivity, and lastly 56.3% in perception from the public. With this, IIT Roorkee has scored an overall 79.75% and has been ranked at number 2 on the NIRF table. IIT Roorkee consistently maintains its rank when compared to the previous year. At the number 1 spot, we have the Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur. IIT Kharagpur has an approved intake of 41 UG and 43 PG seats. There are 262 architecture students in total. When we look at the UG program, 100% of the students graduated within the minimum stipulated time, and 100% of the UG students were placed for a median salary package of Rs 11.45 lakhs per annum. Over 2 crores was spent as annual capital expenditure, and over 16 crores was utilized as the institution's operational expenses. IIT Kharagpur has scored 78.58% in teaching, learning and resources, 79.73% in research and professional practices, 91.8% in graduation outcomes, 71.71% in outreach and inclusivity, and finally 75.54% in perception from the public. With these scores, IIT Kharagpur has achieved an overall score of 80.46%, and this means it's been ranked at number 1 on the NIRF table. IIT Kharagpur consistently maintains its rank across the years. With all of the above facts, let's quickly analyze where do all of these colleges stand on individual parameters. From the data, we can see that the School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi intakes a good number of UG students, while Jamia, Millia, Islamia intakes more PG students. When we look at all the institutions, we see that the School of Planning and Architecture, Delhi, houses a higher number of architecture students. Considering the graduation percentage of all the institutions, IIT Kharagpur and NIT Calicut have outshined other institutions with a perfect 100%. Out of the 10 institutions, 8 have placed 100% of their students. Those institutions are IIT Kharagpur, IIT Roorkee, CEPT, SPA Delhi, IIEST, SPA Bhopal, SPA Vijayawada and JMI. It is really impressive to see that many institutions with perfect placement scores. Looking at the median salary package offered to the students, IIT Kharagpur is the one that offers the highest salary package of Rs 11.45 lakhs. When it comes to expenses, IIT Roorkee has spent more on capital expenditure, while SPA Delhi has spent a larger amount on operational expenses. So there you have it. That is our list for the top 10 architecture colleges in India for 2020. We will soon upload a detailed review of each college and other top 10 institutions in various segments in our coming videos. Due to the ongoing pandemic, kindly stay at home and follow all safety guidelines mentioned by the government to control the situation. What other interesting top 10s would you like to see? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and for more information, visit collegesuggest.com.